red velvet white chocolate chip cookies are just what you think that they will taste like. Oh no. Hey y'all, you cannot talk about Christmas without talking about cookies. Cookie recipes can sometimes be a little daunting, but these two that I have are super easy and they only have 5 ingredients. The first one is a classic iced sugar cookie that is so easy to make, you'll be wondering why you've never made them before. The second one uses cake mix that you will turn into cookie form, and I'm telling you right now, they are cute, delicious, and so easy. So let's get started on the iced sugar cookies first. First up, creaming together softened butter and sugar. This particular recipe calls for powdered sugar over granulated sugar. And we're going to cream it together with an electric mixer. If you don't have a stand mixer, you can definitely use a handheld electric mixer. You are going to add in 1 egg. Blend that just until it's combined, and then some all-purpose flour. Blend that just until the flour is totally moistened, and then you can add in some vanilla. That is it. Super easy. This has taken me all of 5 minutes, maybe even less. I'm going to transfer this dough to some parchment paper and then chill it for 15 minutes in the fridge. While my cookie dough is chilling, I'm gonna get a head start on my glaze for these cookies, which calls for powdered sugar and water. That is it. Super simple, mix together powdered sugar. I'm going to add in some water, give it a good whisk. That is it. Now, these cookies are not going to be ready to be iced until they are cooled completely. So in the meantime, I'm going to cover my glaze with plastic wrap. And I'm not just going to lay plastic wrap on top of the bowl. I'm going to push my wrap directly onto the glaze so a skin doesn't form on the glaze. Okay, my cookie dough is sufficiently chilled, so I'm going to roll it out. The recipe calls for a 1/4 inch thick. I like to go a little bit thicker on my cookies, so I'm gonna do between 1/4 and 1/2 inch thick with my rolling pin. There we go. Now I can use my cookie cutters to cut out my shapes. Again, you can do whatever shape you want. If you don't have cookie cutters, you can use a glass and make circles. Those make really pretty ornament shapes. You do not have to have any special equipment or tools to do this recipe. Cookies taste the same no matter what shape they are. Shapes are fun, but they're still just as delicious. After you get your first batch of cookies cut, you can re-roll your scraps and keep going with more. After your cookies are cut, you can put them in the oven at 375 for about 8 to 10 minutes. You want the edges to be set. You're not looking for them to be super golden brown. Just set when you touch them, and that's it. They might spread a tiny bit in the oven, but not a lot, but I still space mine out pretty well on my baking sheet. Okay, my cookies are completely cooled, which means it is time for the fun part, the icing. So I can take my plastic wrap off of my glaze that I have set aside, and I'm going to dip each cookie straight into the glaze, pick it up, let it drip, and then put it on a wire rack set inside of a baking sheet. After I do that, I'm going to sprinkle them with sprinkles because sprinkles make everything better. And then I have to let them sit for an hour so that they are set before I take a bite. All right, on to my cake mix 5 ingredient cookies. Now these are red velvet with white chocolate chips because they are so festive. You could honestly use any cake mix for this recipe, but for Christmas, red velvet, it's a classic. Using white chocolate chips because they look like Santa. Into the large bowl, I'm going to add in 1/2 cup of vegetable oil, 2 eggs, and 1/2 teaspoon of kosher salt. Whisk this together really well, and then I can add in my cake mix. I am going to chill this in the refrigerator for 20 minutes just to stiffen it up, and then roll the dough into balls and put it on baking sheets and top it with chocolate chips before baking. Once you have put your cookies on the tray, you can decorate them very nicely with some white chocolate chips. I like to put mine on the top so they shine through and not mix them into the batter, but if that's easier for you, then by all means, mix them in. These are going in the oven at 350 degrees. Not quite sure how long. I will consult my recipe and report back. After consulting my recipe, it says 10 to 12 minutes until the edges have browned slightly. I put both sheets in at the same time, so about halfway through the baking time, I'm going to take the top one and the bottom one and switch them, and then continue with the baking so that they cook evenly. And after that, we're putting a bow on this because these cookies are done. Look at these. We've got my 5-ingredient cake mix red velvet white chocolate chip cookies, and my 5-ingredient perfectly beautiful simple iced sugar cookies. So like I end every Hey Y'all episode, I have to try both of them and let you know what I think. Ooh, honestly, the red velvet white chocolate chip cookies are just what you think that they will taste like. Oh no, chocolatey, chewy, but like not too crispy. Perfect cookie. I love that it uses cake mix in an unconventional way. And then we've got these really cute Mittens iced sugar cookies. Look at these. So cute. I love the monochromatic all white look of these. They're just a little bit more modern and fun. Classic, straightforward. A little almond extract would go a long way in that glaze, but otherwise, really simple, really classic, really delicious. 5-ingredient cookies for the win for this holiday season. If you make either of these recipes or you have a 5-ingredient or less cookie that you love, I would love to read about it in the comments. I love to see when y'all recreate things that I do on Hey Y'all in your own home kitchen, so feel free to post a picture and tag me on Instagram at @IVOdom and at Southern Living Mag. If you like this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share. If you're watching on YouTube, click the bell so you never miss an episode of Hey Y'all. In the meantime, happy baking and Merry Christmas.